Solomon was a tremendous example. The book of Ecclesiastes, he records his own pursuit. Until he said, there was nothing that my heart desired that I withheld from myself. I mean, he did it all. And how did he end up? Vanity, vanity, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. There is nothing worthwhile under the sun, no profit under the sun. And so the interesting thing about worshiping the false gods, worship pleasure, you'll end up with lust. Worship power, you'll end up a slave. Worship your intellect, and you'll end up in ignorance. But David observed, they that serve them become like the gods that they serve. He observed that their gods could not see, though they had eyes. He realized that when a man makes a god, he makes a god like himself. If you're carving out a little idol and it's going to be your god, you'll put eyes in it. Why? Because you have eyes. You'll carve ears on it. Why? Because you have ears. I don't carve any hair on it. Why? When a man makes a god, he makes it like himself. It's sort of a projection of oneself. But in reality, he makes it less than himself. Because though you may carve the ears, the god can't hear. Though you may carve the eyes, the god can't see. Though you may carve the feet, the god can't walk. And so really, your God becomes less than yourself. But then here's the kicker. They that have made them have become like unto the gods that they have made. Here is something that you cannot escape. A man becomes like his God. That can be horrible. If you have a false god, you're becoming false. But it can be wonderful if you're serving the true and the living God. And what does the scripture say? Beloved, now are we the sons of God. It does not yet appear what we're going to be, but when he appears, we know we're going to be like him, because we're going to see him as he is, because a man becomes like his God. Paul said, we with open face, beholding the glory of the Lord, are being changed from glory to glory into the same image by the Spirit of the Lord, becoming like our gods. And that's why it's so important as to what God you are really serving, because you are becoming like your God. You can stand on the street corner, watch people go by, and if you have any discernment, you can begin to pick up on just who or what their God is. With young people, it's a little more difficult. It doesn't show quite so much, but as time goes on, it's easy to begin to discern just what God a person is really serving. How important that we serve the true and the living God. The worship of Baal and the gods that Jeroboam set up brought the ultimate end to the nation of Israel. They were captured by the Assyrian, carried away captive, and never recouped or recovered again. It was all over. The worship of false gods is always destructive. Never is it edifying, but always destructive. At the place where Jeroboam set up the worship of the false gods that destroyed the nation of Israel, and as you read in the prophets and you read them crying out against these customs, the habits, the people, the worship of these false gods, now you'll begin to understand it a little more. In your mind, you'll get a picture of this altar that Jeroboam had built to the false gods. And you'll hopefully realize the ultimate devastation that it brings to a nation or to an individual when you enthrone the wrong thing in your life.
I think that's what happened. Okay.
15.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, the bus will come and pick us up?
That's right.